Hello, everybody, and good night, and thank you so much for coming to my speech. Today, we'll be discussing my 30-hour, 4-day proposal for a full-time work week and how we can incorporate it to our lives and society as a whole. Now, have you ever felt throughout the 5-day work week and even 6-day work week for most of us, you can feel pretty burnt out and tired when it comes throughout the end of the week? Now, oftentimes we find ourselves even looming for that Friday, Saturday feeling that we all seek for. Now, I believe that's all fine and dandy to go ahead and reach out and look forward to the days ahead, but we also find ourselves not looking so forward to returning back to the work week of the looming 9 to 5 for most of us and working those 5 to 6 day work weeks, 8 hours as a whole. Now, we spend up to 40% of our lives for most of us at the actual workplace, and thus conducting basically our work life and around us. Now, these days could be pretty daunting and could seem like they last quite a bit forever sometimes. Now, with the 30-hour, 4-day work week, would be reducing that day by that work week by just one day, and also maybe even increasing productivity as well as employee satisfaction in most cases. Now, how we would do this is by implementing these main points. By implementing the 4-day, 30-hour work week, we would be going ahead and increasing employee satisfaction, employee loyalty, and in most cases, we would actually see less stress in the workplace, as well as increasing productivity. And second to that, we also have the fact that when we stay home, I don't know about you guys, but most of us actually go ahead and spend more money and do the things that we like during the weekends or that one day of the week that we have off. This would be an improvement to not only the economy, but small business as a whole. And third to that would be this is a green plan to where most of us, 76% of us actually go ahead and commute to work on a day-to-day basis. Now, going ahead and reducing the work week by one day and 30 hours a week, we'd be going ahead and reducing the amount of travel, as well as CO2 emissions that are projected around the air around us. Now, since 1926, through the creation of Mr. Henry Ford, we have the 5-day, 40-hour work week. Now, there have been some adjustments here and there, thus creating the work laws of the 40-hour week and then the 5-hour week as opposed to 6 or even 45 hours and so on and so forth. But since around the 50s and the 60s, we've seen this implementation. Now, throughout the technical era and the dot-com boom, we could see huge uptake in different schedules and different industries around us adapting to the technology and improvements that we've made so far. Now, when implementing a 4-day, 30-hour work week, opposed to a full-time 5-day, 40-hour work week, we can implement the full-time rules onto the 4-day work week. Now, for this 4-day work week, we've seen around multiple industries that we've had an uptake in employee satisfaction by about 30%, and even most cases to spread about different environments, we see a 20% increase in productivity as a whole. Now, when productivity goes up, employee satisfaction stays up, as well as loyalty and flexibility. Now, employees seem to stay in each company about 15% extra amount of time, depending on the company and industry, because of the fact that they feel they have the flexibility and time to go out through their daily lives. So flexibility, employee satisfaction, and overall productivity go up throughout the 4-day module work week. Now, second to that, we do more of what we like and we stimulate economy around us. Now, what does that mean? In most cases that we have in societies and countries that have a 4-day, 30-hour work week, most of the time we could see people that have time off go ahead and spend about 20% extra of money throughout the week in order to go ahead and satisfy that itch that they have for the weekend, or even doing something throughout the week in order to do what they like. Not only is this an uptake to the economy and businesses alike, but also we have an uptake in small businesses. Throughout the last year, we've seen about 10% increase in small businesses by people staying home and finding more of those niches, those niche markets that people go ahead and do so well. Now, also to this, to complement the fact that we have satisfaction, flexibility, and loyalty, we also have a huge uptake or huge downtake in stress. Now, less stress means more facility to go ahead. The more easier, we can go ahead and create choices throughout our day-to-day lives and choices that seem to impact our work and life as well. Now we have less stress, better economic results, as well as a ticket small businesses as well by staying home just that little bit extra. So 10% overall, as well as 20% extra in economic uptake. Now, last but certainly not least, this is a green decision and a decision that could affect us and the rest of the planet. Now, we could be the leaders of this, us, the United States, and even Florida as a state. We could go ahead and be the leaders of this by going ahead and implementing this 30-hour, 4-day work week in order to help us create less emissions and less CO2 overall. Now, throughout the last year, because of coronavirus, we've seen a huge downtake in CO2 emissions and gas prices as a whole because of less consumption from going to the office, back to work, and commuting on everyday life. Since 76% of everyday workers use their own personal vehicle as a mode of transportation, we would see a huge downtick in that and more people staying home, thus using less fossil fuels and less emissions. We also have less office energy being used, which would go ahead and stifle those renewable energies and be able to spread them across in terms of different uses, not just for these big corporate offices and air conditionings and heaters being used across the country. So overall, this could be a green decision for not only us, but the planet as a whole, and help us all in the process as well. Overall, the 5-day work week can be pretty daunting and can get to most of us at times. The 4-day, 30-hour work week could help implement us all by giving higher employee satisfaction, higher loyalty by up to 20%, higher flexibility for employees to have a work-to-life ratio, less stress overall, thus leading to more economic uptick in terms of going ahead and surpassing current economic activity and uptick in small businesses, as well as more spending overall. And lastly, we could have a more green effect throughout us and the planet as well. Now, this green effect would help the consumption of gas prices, as well as the consumptions of public transportation would go down as a whole as well, going ahead and implementing into more energy efficiency, on the grid by not powering huge corporate offices, water, heat, as well as cooling. Thank you so much, and I think we can all appreciate this 4-day work week. Hope everybody has a good night. Thank you.